Second season of Blue Lock is shown to have immense hype, and so everyone's waiting for the U20 arc to be animated. This video, I'll be covering the second season of Blue Lock and how I think it should be paced episode by episode and what should happen in each episode. Anyways, if you like this type of content, please make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, let's get right into the video. The second season would start with a recap of the last season, where Ego will be recapping on how the U20 match is happening, how Sai is going to play for the U20 team. And basically then, he's going to go over the third selection. And then for the third selection, he's going to be revealing the ranks for all the players. This episode's not really going to be a really fast episode. I want it to be a nice introduction episode, like, oh yeah, yo, look, we're back at Blue Lock. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to show is, you know, the rankings for the players, which is probably going to be shocking for a lot of anime onlys. And then after that, the most of the episode's going to be Isagi and everyone deciding what team they're going to go to for the third selection. And the episode's going to end when the kickoff happens for the first match of the third selection. Now, the second episode would start off with basically the first match of the third selection, where it's Karasu and Atoya versus Shido, Rin, Hiyori, and Isagi, where basically it's going to show most of the game to where it's about 4-3 in the score. And so we're going to get to see a lot of new players in this first game. You know, it's going to be one of the first episodes of the second season. So we're going to get to see Shido play finally, which is going to have a lot of hype. Shido play, Karasu play, Atoya's fraud ass play. And we're also going to see like Isagi struggle to insert himself into a team like this, which will be pretty interesting, I think, for anime watchers, because last season we seen at the end where he was just able to control his team, you know what I'm saying, and assert himself into the team pretty nicely, but then he's going to have to start from the bottom and build it again. And then this episode will basically end with the majority of the match happening already, but when Karasu and Rin are 1v1ing and Isagi's the one who ends up reading Karasu's moves, finally, and taking the ball from him and going on a counterattack. This will be a good cliffhanger because it will be left to think that they're going to score in the next episode. Third episode would start out with basically Isagi going on that counterattack that he was before, and then so if I remember correctly, Hiyori's the one that crosses this in, but Isagi's not able to reach this thing, and then so it bounces to Rin, and he's the one that equalizes it and makes it 4-4. Now it's the final play of the game, where Karasu's team ends up throwing a scary, and Shido ends up getting the ball. And then so they go on another counterattack, and we finally get to see the first time where Isagi moves instinctively, like in a trance. And then so it'll be very interesting to see this animated, and I feel like it'll garner a lot of hype that Isagi surpassed Shido and Rin in this moment. And then so the rest of the episode will basically be him after this, just like reflecting on that trance where he scored and stuff, and the first time he moved like instinctively, and then so it's basically the first time he entered the flow, you know what I mean? And then after that, we're gonna have to see Ryo's game against Nagi a little bit. The game's gonna go on to the point where Nagi gets that one goal where Yukimiya shoots the ball, but then Nagi traps the ball right in front of the keeper and slams it in. That's basically when episode 3 is going to end. I feel like it's a good place to end it, because, you know what I mean, like, this episode will contain a lot of content and a lot of great stuff. And yeah, usually Blue Lock episodes have the hype go in the beginning of the game, in the beginning of the episode, and then towards the end of the episode they just have a bunch of talking, but it's going to be a hype goal at the beginning, hype goal at the end. So yeah, episode 4, however, will be a banger, as in the beginning, yes, we're going to have to see Ryo trying to insert himself into the game, but then in the beginning of the episode, that'll also be solved, how Ryo basically awakened his chameleon style and his copying ability and everything like that. So then this episode, the third selection will end up ending, and we'll get to see Rin and Shido end up fighting, and then so their fight will culminate to Ego, you know, basically choosing the starting lineup and shit, and we'll see all that. We'll also get to see Sai, you know, ask the government, be like, yeah, yo, you know what? I want an extra player on my team from Blue Lock, you know what I mean? So then that's gonna be a cliffhanger, where I think the ending, you know how Blue Lock basically plays the episode over the ending sometimes. So basically in the ending, we're gonna get to see the starters get announced, and then Sai walk into the room with Shido and be like, I want your skills. Come play with me, demon. That should be crazy. That should be a crazy cliffhanger. And I feel like it will have anime only super hyped. Another crazy turns of events will happen in episode 5, where basically we'd start off with meeting the Japanese U20 team. We'd see Aiku, we'd see Shido, and everyone basically just fighting and shit. So then basically we see them, we cut over to Bluelock, training and shit in their facility. And then so we'd see Ego having the conversation about flow, and then how we're basically gonna beat the U20 team by entering Rin's flow. Getting Rin into flow be the key to us winning. And then so Isagi's gonna get stoked, like, I want to get into flow. He's gonna have his conversations with Rin and shit about his brother and whatever. Everyone's gonna be working super hard. And then so we're gonna also have that conversation between Aiku and Sei on how Aiku wanted to make a deal with him and have Sendo start over Shido in the beginning, what I'm saying? Just to see, like, we're actually worthy and shit. Like, what I'm saying? Like, we're not shit boxes. Like, let us play a little bit. Give us a chance. If we're shit, we'll try your guy out. You know what I mean? Basically like that. So then Sai basically agrees. And then so towards the end of the episode, again, it'll go into the ending where we're going to have the U20 game basically almost start, and everyone's going to be walking out and shit to that huge crowd. The animation's going to be crazy. The music's going to be crazy. When you see the commentators, Isagi's going to be soaking the moment in, and the episode will end where it says kickoff to the U20 match. Episode 6 will mark the start of the U20 match, where basically we're going to start the game off with Bluelock showing their tactics and shit and how they actually plan to beat them, and Batra and Isagi's basically like their link up. And then so that's going to be paired with Sakuga. So the animation should be up by now. And then so when Batra and Yuki Miya are shit and like dribbling, like that should actually be like sick ass Sakuga while they're like floating past players, you know what I mean? So the Sakuga would be going crazy with Batra dribbling and shit, and then he'd pass in, Aiku would be the one to take the ball, right? After he takes the ball, the Bluelock would get the ball back eventually, you know what I'm saying? And then so they would start attacking, and they'd meet their Japanese defender counterparts like Neo, that one freaking Egyptian looking dude. I don't know if I'm being racist, but I'm sorry about that. And then freaking all these like defenders and shit. So then they eventually win the ball because of their matchups, they're buffed in the beginning when they first show up. And then so the ball would bounce to Itoshi Sai, where we'd actually get to see how good Itoshi Sai is for the first time. And his like Sakuga when he's dribbling, when he's passing would be like the camera movement when he's passing, just moving will be absolutely insane. That first pass he makes all the way to Sendo and shit, like they'll be fucking insane. So basically Sendo would end up missing, and then so Itoshi Sai would grab the ball and score. And then so that'll be like about 17 minutes into the episode until we have Bluelock link up once again for the end of the episode. And then so Batra plays Rin into the net, and that'll be the end of the episode where Ego says, Itoshi Rin, your awakening will pave our way to victory. Episode 7 would also be a banger, as we have Bluelock going on the counterattack, Rin's through on the goal, but then he'll start and try and do the same thing his brother did, but better, because he uses weak foot. So that would end up causing a huge mix-up in the ball just bouncing everywhere around the box, and eventually we'll have the GOAT Nagi touch the ball, bounce it off, and finish that shit for Bluelock's first goal of the game. Now this would be incredibly hype with the crowd going crazy. Nagi celebration be all over TikTok. It'll be fucking insane. But the episode won't end there, as U20 would go back on the counterattack, and we'd actually get to see Nico play as a defender, which would allow the Bluelock to then actually go back on another counterattack where they'd finally use Chigiri. Chigiri would make his first mark on this game, busting through the people, using his speed, crossing it in. But as soon as he crossed it in, we'd also get to see Itoshi Sai go crazy. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention before this played, we'd have to see Itoshi Sai and Itoshi Rin going at it in this game. The Sakuga for that would be absolutely crazy when he's dribbling past him and shit. But yeah, Itoshi Sai will intercept the ball. It'll bounce all the way to Rin, who would have a 1v1 with Aiku. and he just put it away for the end of the episode with his fabulous Travella shot. That would have insane animation, and yeah, it would be just crazy. Episode 8 would start off with Bluelock taking the lead, and there would only be a couple more minutes until halftime where they'd actually have to survive, and it'd just be an all-out battle where the ball's just bouncing everywhere around the net of the Bluelock box. And when Itoshi crosses it in, and then so Rin intercepts that, he's like, that was lukewarm, my bro. He kicks that, clears it, but then Itoshi side gets that shit back and volleys it. Now, that would be an insane sequence, but apparently, yeah, that would miss or get blocked. And then so Bluelock would survive the halftime, but then we'd have a halftime, where both the teams are having team discussions, and Itoshi side is literally about to leave, which would be shocking for a lot of anime watchers. They'd be like, wait, what the fuck? Like, he's gone just like that. But then we'd have one of the hypest moments where Shido finally laces up the boots and gets ready to get on the field. As this moment would be literally crazy, because the panel is absolutely insane with the freaking wings and shit. I want to see his wings actually animated in the anime. I want to see what color they're going to be and how they're going to look. But yeah, nah, bro, this moment would be insane. But we cut back to the Bluelock locker room where, Ego would be talking about the first half, and he'd be like, oh, are you guys finished? No, we're not finished. Isagi, are you gonna keep being a pawn for Rin? And Isagi's like, hell no, I'm not gonna be a fucking pawn for Rin. You know what I'm saying? Then we finally get a glimpse at the end of the episode to Rin's backstory, which we've been waiting for a long time to see what the hell actually happened between him and his brother. And that's exactly where the episode would end. Then we have episode 9 go on with Rin's backstory with Sai. For the majority of the episode, that's what's going to be happening. And so it'll be a very emotional backstory where we get to see how Rin and Sai eventually got into a fight and everything that happened. And just how Rin has changed over the years from the sweetheart he was when he was a kid to this literal demon that he is right now. And then so the game's going to get back on. And we're finally going to get to see Shido on the field where the game's going to restart. And Sai's going to play a pass into Shido for the end of the episode. But that shit's going to get intercepted by Nico, the Watchtower. It'll be an insane hype interception that'll end the episode. And yeah, I think we all know what happens after this. Now, episode 10 of Bluelock Season 2 would be one of the best episodes in the all of Bluelock anime, where basically the episode would start off with the free kick, and basically Nico exclaiming how he likes to crush the forwards as a defender, you know what I'm saying? Like, not as a striker, but being a defender kind of appeals to him now. So I guess his character has developed a little bit more throughout Bluelock, and his ideology has changed a little bit more. And then, yeah, so basically we see the crazy free kick that Itoshi Sai gives to Shido that Shikiri could barely get to. Barely. He's an inch off. And I think the anime would really emphasize how much of an inch that was. Like, he was so close to getting to that ball. But then it would show how Itoshi Sai just purposely put it so that he was so close to getting it, but he won't be able to get it, right? And we'd see the animation would go crazy with Shido's insane drag and drive kick for his first goal of the game. And that'll be the beginning of the episode where the OST would be crazy. And then we'd actually get to feel like, oh shit, like it's actually tied up just like that with Shido coming into the game, you know what I'm saying? Bluelock would go on their would go on their counterattack, where basically Shigiri would get subbed off after this, and Hiyori would be put in, and Rio would be put in, and then we'd see the impacts of what they could do for the rest of the game. Hiyori's gonna be coordinating the offense and shit, while Rio is assigned with the task to take out Shido. So basically, Bluelock's gonna lose the ball once again because Aiku is just a beast. And then so they'd get the ball up front to Shido again, but then Rio would copy Aiku's shit, and he'd be like, okay, I'm going to lock down Shido, you know what I'm saying? A couple plays later, this will bite him in the ass, and the episode would end with Shido getting a pass from Sai, it getting punched away by Gagamaru, and then Shido doing his iconic, the best goal in Bluelock so far, one of the most hype moments in the entire series. He's gonna jump into the air as he's saying that all of his cells are telling him to do this, and bicycle kick it all the way back there and score an amazing goal where the crowd goes crazy and he enters the flow. This would be quite literally an amazing episode of Bluelock, where episode 10 season 2 would literally be probably the best episode yet released of Bluelock, where Shido Ryusei's rampage and how good he really is would be shown to all the anime onlys. I feel like this episode would be super hype and all over TikTok too. Episode 11 would be no short of fucking amazing too, because then after Shido scores, the game will be flipped on its head just as he comes in 3-2 as the Blue Lock are starting to lose confidence, and Isagi would ask Ego what the hell he should do because Shido has entered flow. And then so basically Ego would be like, yeah, I don't know what the hell we could do, where Isagi would be like, yo, what the fuck you talking about? You taught me this, Ego, bro. You have to know what the fuck to do, you know what I'm saying? And then Ego basically explains, I feel like this would be a good plot twist for all the anime onlys, where Ego's like, yeah, you know what, like, we don't even need to win anymore. You guys have shown how good you are to the world. So even if Blue Lock gets torn down, you guys are not going to go, like, you know, you're not going to be unknown people. You're actually going to get a chance in the real world, because, you know, you showed everyone how good you are still. Then basically Isagi's gonna be like, no, fuck that shit. I don't care about all that. I want to win this game. You know what I'm saying? So basically then we're going to get one of the hypest introductions where Baro comes off the bench and he's like, yeah, fuck that shit. All right, bet. Let's go, Isagi. And as soon as he hops into the game, you already know chaos is happening when Baro's on the field and he's just tearing shit up, and he's playing a way that nobody really expects him to play because he's just like a wild card when he's on the field. So basically, but this wouldn't be it, as, you know, Yukimiya would eventually get the ball, Garo shot and almost score, but then Aiku would reach flow, and we'd get his backstory this game, where Aiku literally just goes about his flow state, his backstory, and it's just insane. I just fucking love it so much. And then the episode would end where he ends up stopping Rin and Blue Lock's counterattack, and Itoshi Sai gets the ball one more time, saying he's gonna finish this game. Episode 12 would start out with the U20 going on a counterattack, and then so basically Blue Lock will end up being able to stop this as Gagamaru makes an insane save, and then Ryo punts the ball up to Nagi using his own technique and copying it. And then so Blue Lock will go on their counterattack. We'd see Isagi finally starting to get a rhythm in this game as he'd use Nagi to get free on the goal. And this will be Isagi's chance to score, but no, Itoshi Sai will come, and we actually get to see how skilled he is, not only on offense, but also in defense, as he throws Isagi's direct shot completely off. But Isagi, being Isagi, you know, will have another plan, and he'd see Rin on the side of him with Aiku with him. So then basically we'd be like, all right, what the hell are we going to do? And I feel like the anime would make this like a slow-mo thing, kind of similar to how they did when Rin was about to get the ball from Isagi, and Isagi's like, oh, no, I'm finished. No, I'm not. You know what I mean? I have a feeling that Isagi will pass the ball to Rin, the ball will be bouncing, it'll be slow-mo, and then so everyone would be like, Isagi would be like, get there, get there, get there. And then after that, we'd hear Baro just burst through the middle with 4 guys on him, and his OST would go insane with the animation and like of impact, just Baro connecting with that ball on a volley, smashing it top left. Oh my goodness, that'll be an insane animation clip. They better do that shit right in the anime, but that shit will be an insane moment where Baro scores. So the episode won't be over there, as we see Baro's celebration. Then everyone will be gearing up for the final confrontation of this game, as it's 3-3 and next person who shoots and scores wins the game. Episode 13 would start out with the inbound happening, the kickoff happening again with Itoshi Sai and Aiku. And Itoshi Sai, we'd finally get to see the bro right off the rip. We get to see bro change the gears of the game, and we get to see the soccer here. Like, the animation should go crazier, even more than it was before, because bro, like, him just going insane. I need to see him doing rainbow flicks over people, you know what I'm saying, dropping people, like moving just insane, like unguardable, you know what I mean? And also in this game, we're also in this episode, we're gonna get the main star panel, the iconic main star panel. They better not butcher this, because it's a great moment where Itoshi, Rin, and Isagi are both thinking the same thing at the same time, and we get this sick ass panel of both of them just staring at each other like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna be the guy that ends this game, you know what I'm saying? And then so basically Itoshi Sai's gonna be going crazy over the Blue Lock defense and just ripping apart them, and we'll realize they basically wasn't really trying all that much until this point in the game, when they'd go on their counterattack. And so Itoshi Sai would punt the ball all the way over to Shido, who would then almost be able to score, but, you know, Rin would finally get there and get kicked in the head. Now, it would be interesting for anime only, because this is like the first time you see Rin actually like kind of angry. He's like, why the hell am I being left behind? He's so strong, you know what I mean? Like, my brother, I thought I was closer to him, But now it seems like I'm even farther than I was before. You know what I mean? It's just like that continuous gap that he just can't seem to bridge, and he doesn't understand why he can't do that. And then so basically, Blue Lock's going to get the ball on a counterattack, and finally, we're going to get to see Bachar do something crazy. He's going to be going crazy, dribbling past a whole bunch of opponents, which I believe his dribble should have crazy animations as well. This animation right here where he dribbled past IQ on all these people and almost scores, but the episode would end on a cliffhanger where Sendo would end up kicking the ball out. And yeah, that's basically what happened. Basically, episode 14 would start out with basically U20 recovering the ball and Say doing his normal thing of running past everyone and basically swinging in a pass to Aiku to finish the job. But, you know, Blue Lock's defending with their lives on it, and Rin ends up intercepting it. But the problem with Rin is right now is that he still has that little internal conflict in his head where he's like, shit, bro, like no matter how much better I get, like he just keeps getting farther and farther. Like I can't beat him, you know what I mean? Like I'm on this, like I'm right here, but I can't beat him. Like I can't get past him. I can't surpass him somehow. And then do the corner kick where he fails to read the play and Isagi reads it better than him. And he realized like, yo, Isagi's actually starting to play better than me. What the fuck? You know what I mean? And then he goes over his transformation, which will also be one of the hypest moments in all of Blue Lock, where Rin goes into the flow state in this episode, ends up destroying all of the U20 defenders and shooting that shot and missing, which would be an insane twist. So everyone will be like, okay, yo, this is the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? Finally, Rin will win this game for them. But he'd miss. And after he'd miss, the episode would end with the dude saying there's 1 minute remaining in this game. And it'll be crazy hype for the next episode. And then it finally leads us to episode 15 of season 2 Blue Lock, where basically U20 would recover the ball and start going on a final drive to win this shit, where we'd see Sai showcasing his absolute brilliant dribbling skills for the last time in this game, just absolutely destroying Blue Lock. And the hype will be crazy how we're like, yo, like this is the last minute and this guy's forging forward and nobody could stop him, you know what I mean? But then just right there, we'd see Rin pop up in his berserker mode. And the animation here, I think, should be the highest animation we ever get for Blue Lock, as Rin and Sai 1v1. In the manga, this was just insane. Like, just no words, just them going at it. Like, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Sai's going left, right. Rin's reacting and shit. Basically, this episode will be crazy soccer between these two. And then finally, we'd have Rin get the deflection on Sai where the ball bounces all the way up in the air. And I think this should be in slow motion, where how it was for when Isagi was the one that blocked Bachir's shot and the ball was just in the air, slow motion, bouncing a Rin. This should just be in slow motion in the anime, where the ball just starts bouncing. And you only see the ball, like the camera zoomed in on the ball, but you don't know where it's going. And you see the ball bounce, like go over Aiku's head, and you see the back of Isagi's jersey ready to get that shit. And the panel of the luck panel where Isagi's there. Striker just appears where the ball is the most dangerous. And he goes and volleys that shit in for the game. Oh my goodness. The amount of hype this moment would generate would be absolutely insane. It seems like I'm glazing here, but this goal literally changes Japanese football and quite literally almost changes the entire Blue Lock story from this point on. And Isagi finally makes his footprint on the world. You know what I mean? It's just a crazy inspirational moment as we see his emotion and we see like how happy he is to do this shit and everyone's celebrating and shit. And then Rin and Sai finally get their moment again. But then Sai just, completely yeets his ass and be like, yeah, Isagi's better than your ass. You know what I mean? Like, you thought I was going to say you're the best? No, Isagi's the future. And so basically the episode would end, and I feel like this would be the best episode in all Blue Lock Season 2, where Isagi grabs the mic and says, I will win Japan the U20 World Cup. And it'll just boom, cliffhanger, end like that. It'll be insane. This is going to lead us to the end of the video, which, yes, I know you guys are probably wondering, hey, it's only been 15 episodes. I thought this was a 24 episode season. It is a 24 episode season, but honestly, this video is going to be long itself. I'd go all the way up to that point. So I ask you guys to please like and subscribe the video. Help me out, put your thoughts below in the comments on where you think certain episodes should stop and how many chapters they should cover. And honestly, yeah, I mean, like, this is a fun video to do. I'd be glad to do a part 2. So please like and subscribe. Let me know that you guys want this part 2, and I'll get it to you as fast as possible. Anyways, guys,